Hi, welcome back to my High Plains life. It's March 30th. This is episode 39, and I'm your host, Danielle. I'm going to apologize right now for the lighting. It's just past the perfect time of day to film, and there's shadows and light beams, so you might hear Willow chasing some sunbeams during the podcast, and I apologize. But it's easier to keep her in here with me because if I put her outside and close the door, she just whines for an hour. So this way, there she goes again. Crazy dog. As you can tell, I love my dog. I'm not the only one though, so I don't feel too bad about it. I will not apologize for loving my dog. She's my fur baby. Okay, so it's been a while. A month? Maybe just over a month? And I've had a lot of stuff happen. So let's get right into it. I have a lot to talk about today on the needles. I have a ton of FOs. And I thought that I had went through a bunch of FOs in my last podcast before we left. And I did. And I guess because of the time lag, I have a whole other bunch of FOs to show you. So, we have this silver cardigan that I was knitting for my niece that was not finished in time to leave it behind in Phoenix. That's right. It's by Christina Temin. I used the Lorna's Laces Sportmate and ran out. That's when I made a call on Ravelry for a Madeline Tosh sport weight in Coquette, and somebody came through for me. Dog hair. So, I have a skein of Madeline Tosh Coquette, 80-10-10 sport weight. Thank you, Ravelry. I love knitters. They're always so willing to help. Granted, I paid for it, but again, she could have ignored my message. So, I finished up. This is so cute. The bottom edging in the Coquette. Look how well that matches. That just totally coordinates with the pink. So I finished the bottom garter stitch edging up in the Coquette. I didn't have to pick up for the sleeves because I left them live on cables and did a row of decreases as per the pattern and the garter stitch edging. I did weave in my ends, I just haven't cut them off yet. So it's more finished than it looks. So I need to trim my ends and block it. I actually prefer trimming my ends after I block it because I don't want to cut them too short. I want it woven in through stitches as much as possible, if that makes sense. So here is my little finished silver cardigan. Isn't that cute? So hopefully it still fits her in the fall when the weather turns. There is a lot of AC in Phoenix, so you don't spend much outside in the heat of the summer. You're normally indoors where the AC is, so maybe it'll be a nice layering piece year round. Who knows? It's not cotton. It is merino nylon, so it's a little warmer, but it's finished. It's not finished because I need to block it and take photos, but I'm almost there. Okay, one FO down. And, excuse my chair, it's kind of squeaky. The second FO I have is my Lush cardigan. And it's done. Brioche, baby. Like I said last time, so easy. I wasn't scared of it, but I was expecting it to be way more complicated than it is, and it's not. So you can wear this single and as a long cowl, or you can double it up and be, I'm not very good at styling, totally cozy. Like this underneath a coat wrapped up, because it's got a high neck depth, high depth. It covers your neck and even your ears. So lovely. So very ecstatic about this. I love both sides, the front and back. You know, I don't even know which one was which anymore. And I love it. This is how much I have left of the main yarn. It says, according to Ravelry, when I put in the remaining weight, it says I have 91 yards left of this. I'm calling BS. There's no way that's 91 yards. Yeah. And this, because I had an additional skein, one more skein of this than I did of this. So that's all that's left. Lovely. Beautiful. I'm putting this in the gift box and saving it for Christmas for somebody, or birthdays, or whatever. I love it. It's my colors. But I see myself knitting more. There are no increases or decreases in this. It's just straight 2-color brioche. So obviously I haven't tried all the techniques, but I'm not worried. There's tutorials for things. So, you know, bring it on. I've seen some beautiful shawls in brioche with like leaf patterns, and I want to do that. So brioche increases and decreases, here I come. FO. Third FO, dog hair, are my husband's socks, stay-at-home socks. So these are knitted Cascade Heritage Prints, I think. It's in my Ravelry page. Stay-at-home socks, heel flap and gusset. He wanted them short. Said he didn't need them very tall. Sorry, I don't have my ghetto sock blockers that I made. He's already worn these and multiple times, and they're already ready for a wash. Yay! I did do, and I think I mentioned this, I did do calf shaping increases, and I did them towards the back. You can see where one of them is right there. See where it goes? Right there. It adds in another pattern row. So that's kind of how I just did my increases. And I think it looks fine. I think it works. Besides, it's going to be under his pant legs. Nobody's really watching the back of your leg. Yay! First pair of socks down for the hubby. These are my Wonder Woman socks by Abby of Artistic Yarns. And yay! Because I have small feet, size 6. Yay! These are my ghetto sock blockers. Yeah, I just took hangers and bent them. I did the seam-free rounded toe, which I don't really like any better. I like the wedge toe. Because I only have a size 6 foot, little foot. I wanted to use as much of the yarn as possible, though, because hi, it's Wonder Woman, so I have a very long leg. I don't think I did any shaping at all. I didn't do any increases. Look at those! This is the Vanilla Bean self-striping sock pattern. I like it. It gives a little more interest than just plain stripes. And I did afterthought heels Bullseye! Sorry, these don't work very well. I'd rather buy yarn than sock blockers, though. Okay, Wonder Woman socks up as long as I could make them without requiring increases. And I still had some yarn left over. Of course, I'm in Phoenix when I finish them up, and my oldest niece says, I want a pair of Wonder Woman socks too. So I made her Wonder Woman socks. Check this out. Mine, hers. I did them 2 at a time. They obviously don't match, but again, I just knit until I ran out of yarn. These are tube socks. I did not rib them. I don't know. She's 6. I'm hoping they'll fit. I thought they were still short, so I bought, of course, why buy yarn when you're already at the top? Madeline Tosh. In acquisitions, I will tell you. A red sock yarn, and finish the cuff. I'd like to try them on her. If the tube doesn't work, I can always cut in an after that heel in the red. So that's the plan. Matching Wonder Woman socks. Awesome. And I think that's all my FOs. Cardigan socks. Lush Cow. Kids socks. Yes. So now I have my whips. Since oldest niece got socks, middle niece wanted socks too. Only she likes Supergirl better than Wonder Woman. So, using the same red yarn, I added some blue, which I also purchased, and I will talk about it in acquisitions. Oh, who cares? It is Hedgehog Fibers. Here we go. Hedgehog Fibers Sock Mini, and the color is Electric. It's a 20-gram mini, 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. Electric blue, and I thought red and blue, great for Supergirl. She does have gold also in the shield with where the S is, but we're sticking with red and blue. Maybe I'll do some duplicate stitch with the S if I get fancy. Okay, and the red yarn that I did finish the other cuffs in, and I'm doing this, is Madeline Tosh Twist Light in the Blood Runs Cold colorway. And this is 75% merino, 25% nylon. Awesome. And I'm really liking this. It does have a really good twist, and I think it will hold up well for socks. Okay, so loving the colors. Again, knitting 2 at a time because it's just easier to not have to remember what I did to one to do it to the other. 2 at a time. Way to go. So that's my first whip in the sock theme. And I have a second whip. I'm calling these my Fantastic Lattice socks because the color is Picket from O Loops, which is one of their Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them inspired colorways. I love it. It's in their Perfection sock, I think. And I like the pattern. I did pattern on the top of the foot. Okay, I just did the wedge toe pattern on the top of the foot, followed the heel in the pattern, which says to start 4.5 to 5 inches short of where your heel goes, which I did because see how you start these increases. I did that. Did the heel flap, over an inch too long. I'm like, maybe 6 inches short of your heel. That only even like knit 3 inches and start the heel. Crazy. Could get them on through the heel. Foot too long. No problem. I'll make them for someone else. Started at the leg. Beginning pattern all the way around. Got so far. Tempted to try them on again. Wouldn't get over the heel. This lattice, apparently I didn't leave enough room. In the slip stitch section because they don't stretch out wide enough to go over the foot. I've got to rip these out back to the heel. Do you see how much knitting that is on both socks? So I'm getting real good at ripping. Not happy with these socks. I like the lattice stitch. Yeah, I just don't know if it's worth finishing those socks in that pattern. So that might be a no. We'll see. They're on freeze for a while. My next whip is a prayer shawl that I'm knitting for church. And I've shown this before. I have done some knitting on it, so I'll show. I am not at the end of a row, apparently. Sorry. And it helps if you're at the end of a row, because then you can see how big it is. So it's gotten a little bigger. This did not travel with me. Obviously, the socks did. Hence, so many finished. Slow and steady. So that's what's going on with that. I am calling this a whip because I have a project page started and I have the pattern printed out and the needles sizes 6, 7, and 8 because there's 3 different gauge swatches I have to do. I picked a pattern for my Rios. Malabrigo Rios in the lettuce colorway. It's a little brighter. There we go. It's not bright. It's the Runa cardigan by Gudrun Johnston. And I have to do 3 separate swatches. I'm in swatching hell. And that's assuming that I get gauge with the first needle size. I have to do a flying wings pattern on 1 needle size, a seed stitch pattern on 2 different needle sizes because of how the cardigan is knit together. It is beautiful cardigan with a hood. Yay! I love it. It is a pay for pattern on Ravelry. Swatching hell. But I'm counting it as a whip because I don't have a garment on the needles at this time, and it's been months and it's kind of been driving me crazy. Socks are fun, but I love knitting garments. Give me a sweater. Yay. So those are my whips. I have been stalking Ravelry aimlessly with no intent in sight. After I picked the sweater pattern that I wanted to knit, I kind of just did some surfing. So that was it. On to acquisitions. You saw my Madtosh Twist Light and the Hedgehog Sock Mini. What else I also purchased is Artistic Yarns, an Impressionist stripe. Isn't this beautiful? This just looks springtimey. I'm not participating, but Curious Handmade is doing an Impressionist MCAL, or a shawl MCAL, and the theme is Impressionism. So beautiful, like blues and greens. That's more the color. This is by Artistic Yarn by Abby.com, which is Abby Grosso, I think. 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon, 460 yards. So it's a light fingering. And here, what I really bought it for is the adorable stitch marker. Can you see that sheep? It has little colored balls of yarn making up the body. Yeah, so I really bought this yarn. The stitch marker. I love the yarn too, don't get me wrong. Palettes in my wheelhouse. I just don't know what I would make with it. Socks, obviously. But I kind of would like to do something else, although the self-striping pattern kind of limits what you do with it. So, last acquisition. I have not done any spinning. And as far as under the needle goes, I have not done any sewing either. I've missed the last 2 months of the Prairie Woman Sewing Circle class. So I actually need to go into the shop and pick up those patterns for the 2 months and see if I can't catch up with the rest of the group and get some stitching done. And yeah, hopefully I can catch up. In the garden, I do have something this week, and that's pretty much just that spring is officially here. We just had snow yesterday here in Colorado, so not so much here. But it is the end of March, and it is time to get out and do some spring cleanup in your gardens. I have no motivation to do so because it is still cold outside today. It's supposed to warm up over the weekend into the 60s. So maybe I'll get some motivation then. But I look out into the yard and just see all the work I have to do. I'm like, maybe I'll make a list and stop. So that, so far, is some of my spring gardening chores. The other one is planting the garden. My husband actually brought it up when we were grocery shopping because we were going through the produce section and we were buying leeks and shallots and carrots and celery and I don't know, something else that you can grow here in Colorado. And he was like, we should go through and make a list of things we actually eat and make sure we have seeds to put them in the garden this year so we are actually producing stuff that we could use on our table. Novel idea. So we need to sit down and make that list together. I've never thought of growing leeks before. And actually, we cook with them a lot. A lot of like crock-pot style recipes and stew stuff. Coca Riesling is what we do. Use leeks. Lovely. So, planning the garden is one of my favorite parts. And I haven't made a great effort in the past year or two on this because I still had leftover seeds from the years before. So I was like, I'll just plant the same things again. This year, gonna make some changes and start with some fresh seeds. So planning is underway. I also have something for in the bee yard. I have ordered 2 packages of bees with Carniolan Queens from John Hartley of Black Forest Honey here in Colorado Springs. It's a local pickup, so I don't have to drive up to Denver. And he works with the Pikes Peak Beekeepers Association. He's a member and like a previous officer of it. And so when we don't get discounted rates, we do get first opportunity and notification and stuff of when he's ordering the packages. Another reason I'm really happy to be ordering through John Hartley is the fact that he does a mid-May delivery and pickup, whereas most of the other bee package providers are mid-April, late April if you're lucky. Again, we're still getting snow. If we installed a bee package in April, here in Colorado Springs, it's 6,500 foot elevation with back and forth spring weather, they would die. So waiting till mid-May gives us a little better chance of your package installation going well and everybody's surviving. I have purchased Italian queens in the past, and I'm going with Carniolans this year. I like Italians, they're fine. The main differences between the two is Italians build up slightly faster, they expand their population faster in the spring, and they are larger honey producers than the Carniolans. Carniolans still make plenty of honey, just not quite to the extent the Italians do. Carniolans are also slightly gentler. Italians are a pretty gentle breed of honeybees also compared to some of the others. Carniolans are supposed to be more gentle, which I'm thinking is a good idea since I didn't beekeep last year. And getting back into it, there's always those, first timer nerves again, where the more nervous you are around bees, the more they sense it, and the more defensive they get. So I'm hoping with the gentler bees, I'll manage to stay a little calmer and less bee stings. And another good point about the Carniolans over the Italians is they are suited better to colder climates and higher elevations because they were bred in the Carniolan Mountains. So, yay. And I'm hoping that will help them survive. Between winter kill and too early spring buildup with swarming and no flowers available yet, I don't know, my luck has been on and off. So I'm trying to give myself as good an advantage as I can, and we're going with Carniolans. So wish me luck. I got 2 packages so I could run 2 hives next to each other so I could compare and contrast the growth of the 2, and also so that if something goes wrong with one, I can always pull a frame of brood from the second hive and install it in the first and try and save it or correct whatever's wrong. So that's my goal. Wish me luck. Off topic. My husband's grandmother died, so we went out to California for her funeral and spent some time there because the rest of the family was in, and so even though it was a sad situation, we all got to celebrate her life and catch up with each other and renew, family friendships. So overall, it was a good time. That's sounds so bad, but it really was. We don't get to see that side of the family very frequently. California, Colorado, a lot of space in between. So any chance we do get to hang out and visit, we always try to take advantage of and spend as much time as we can catching up. In addition to that, we had already planned a little spring break vacation to Phoenix to visit my sister and her family and my parents, who as of this winter have officially moved to Phoenix. Well, it's Queen Creek, Santan Valley, but Phoenix. So, if anybody knows anyone who's looking to purchase a house in Green River, Wyoming, give me a holler, because my parents' house is still for sale and obviously they're looking to get rid of it because you're not moving back, Mom. You're staying in Phoenix. Laying down the law. I have been trying to plan a motorcycle trip with Brian and find a way to combine it with a fiber festival as we drive through. It is harder than I thought it would be. I am looking at possibly the Black Sheep Gathering in Albany, Oregon, but it's right at the end of June, beginning of July, and that is normally pretty hot riding weather, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. I have looked at their workshops, and there is one I would love to take. There's actually two that are possibilities. So, thinking about that. If I could talk him into doing like a Pacific Northwest tour, the Willamette Valley is nearby. We could do some wine tasting. So, possibilities. If anyone else has any ideas, let me know. I'm looking for something that would be an interesting scenic drive. My motorcycle has not been started up yet this year. Brian has ridden his to work one day, the 60s. But I haven't even started mine this year. And of course, I have a battery tender. Did I put it on? No, I didn't even hook my bike up to the battery tender this winter, so I don't even know if it will start. Wish me luck. And what else is going on? Baseball! Opening day was yesterday. Of course, the Rockies happened to lose their opening day game. I want to say it was against the Diamondbacks, and the score ended up being something like 2-8, maybe. I am prepared. I got my Colorado Rockies colors on, though. I did cheer for them. So, since it's baseball season, of course, the Batter Up Cal has started. That is sponsored by Innocent. Christy over at Innocent. It used to be a video podcast, but now it's audio with the occasional video thrown in. If it's a sports season, I've got to be doing a Cal. Football, I've got the DCS Pigskin Party with Boston Jen. Baseball, it's the Batter Up Cal with Christy of Innocent. What can I say? I'm a glutton for Cals that follow sports. Give me a reason to watch a game on TV, I'm there. Okay. And most of you probably don't care at all, but coming from Wyoming, this is a big deal. Josh Allen, the Wyoming quarterback, is considered one of the top-rated quarterbacks for the draft. Possibly going as the second quarterback picked overall. Possibly going number 3 overall. Whoa! I can't tell you the last time a Wyoming player was drafted so high. No clue. The last time a Wyoming player was drafted. So, for any Wyoming fans, this is a huge deal. Not only to have a football player who's definitely going to be drafted, but drafted so high that people are talking about. He was on path to the draft. So exciting! I know most of you couldn't care less about Wyoming football, but again, small state, Cowboys in Colorado, we care. Okay. And that's all I have for you today. Sorry I was a little crazy. I will apologize for that. But it's been a while. I've missed chatting with you guys. So, looking forward to getting some swatching done and a sweater cast on and talking to you guys again soon. As always, I am Dad and Girl Co. on Ravelry and Instagram. And show notes can be found at www.myhighplainslife.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching.